Greetings. Thank you for joining us on In the Metal. My name is Johnny McIlherran. This guy is
Jayesh,
Jake.
called
Jayesh.
Jay in Basel and in Brooklyn. So I'm at present in Basel for Art Basel for a week. So we are actually all in Europe doing this episode of In the Metal. There you go. And the guy next to me is.
Yeah, I'm on the other side in my setup here, so I was confused because you were pointing at Johnny. So my name is Albert. I'm one of the founders of Zeitwinkel, and I've known these two gentlemen that are probably somewhere here in whatever you see out there for many, many years. Actually, Jay I've known for a little bit longer, even when Johnny wasn't born yet, but yeah, known these two for quite some time.
That's true.
Horology didn't exist before I was born, let me tell you.
We know that, Johnny. We do know that. Yes, we are aware.
500 years old I am. Or some days I feel like it. Folks, thank you very much indeed for joining us on In the Metal. This is a little, for once, we're all pretty much in the same time zone, or just 1 hour removed in my case. And we're here to welcome our great friend, Albert Edelmann, co-founder of Swiss independent brand Zeitwinkel, a brand that I've always had a really soft spot for. The completely in-house manufacturer, Albert, and you produce pretty much everything in your manufacturing.
We can't produce everything. We choose to work for the raw movement parts of our in-house movement. We choose to work with partners in the direct vicinity of Saint-Imier in the canton of Bern in the Swiss Jura. But except for probably spirals and obviously jewels, we have the sometimes very old machines to make nearly everything.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I remember, I think the first year you guys launched, I remember that year where I think it was Max and Peter who came into the restaurant, Jay's Indian restaurant in Basel, for Basel World. And I was talking to Max. Were you there, Albert, at that time?
Yeah, I was there too. Yeah. But I'm so shy and
not much.
Yeah.
I see. Yes.
You didn't notice me.
It was such an amazing, wind of fresh air for me, because you always see the brands, coming in, talking about it, moving on. But then you don't see the ones who are a bit different, because you're looking at clean. You're looking at everything which is precise. You're looking at everything which just came out of an idea of 3 friends who actually, just went out there and said, okay, we're going to launch a watch brand, and came out. I think there was a Sapphire, which, if I'm not mistaken, was the first, which I think was that what you launched. Was it?
No, the Sapphire actually came a little later. We had a pretty good understanding what our watches should look like, but we had no design. We had no actual design. But from the understanding what should be where, we started to design the movement in 2006. And while that was going on, which was at the end of the day a 3-year process, we had our own typeface. We had a website that showed something different every hour. Maybe a guy running around in circles for 100 kilometers, things like that. And only towards the end did we finalize the design of our watches, which was the other way around, like so many times when we pick something up.
Yeah. I mean, as I said, for me, it was, when you guys came in and we were sitting down, I think that year, the first time when you came at least 2 times to me, and it was like I've known you for such a long time already then, there wasn't any, sort of an introduction about, oh, this one is that. It was just like getting into the situation, talking about watches, brands, and at that time, I think we had so many different brands already there for Basel World. And as I said, it was so special to have you there. Thank you for that.
Yeah, and we fondly think back to those days, even though you didn't have the beard yet. But I recently came across the photos I sent you, I think 2 years ago again, and we all looked so much younger.
I mean, this is what I was talking to Dario this morning about. We were at Art Basel, and we were passing by one of those, galleries whom I know from such a long time. And I was like, oh my God, I think this girl has been working there for more than 10, 15 years. And she said, yes, this is how it works in these fields. Yeah. People who are, who have been there, they always going to be there, because that is what, the recognizable situation about, art and, watches and whatever. So Albert, you've always been there, and you've always been the face of this amazing brand of yours. And let us talk about it and see where we get.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I also think, Jay, that you're doing the way you're talking to Albert there. It demonstrates a great familiarity and a great connection that you have. I think it shouldn't be underplayed, just the role that you played as host to so many amazing evenings for the independent community, or wherever we're exhibiting in Basel, in the days of Basel World, and
nowadays New York, John.
Nowadays New York, yeah. Well, gotta start somewhere.
Well, he met the Keezers last week.
I did. Keezers were there for the Gotham Watch Show. I was expecting. I would have really been so happy if you could have made it. But I think for the next one you should try.
Well, there are rumors. I don't know how much I can give away, and Chris will probably already kill me as is. But I know. There will be something on the horizon, and if that comes across the horizon, you might see us as well.
Yes, I know that we have two things happening in the future, and I know that also that he's been talking to you, and he's first of all told me how am I supposed to go and talk to Albert? I said, with Albert, you don't strategize. Talk to him straightforward, and he tells you exactly how it is. There's nothing to strategize. There's no need to go, wherever you want to go to take a topic. You go with the topic, talk about the topic, and he will tell you yes or he'll tell you no. And this is how it is.
And that's I think the advantage of the independence, because watch lovers, customers, enthusiasts, they're sometimes surprised that they, when we pick up the phone, we pick up the phone. It's not an employee. It's we answer emails, and if they want to ask us whether we can make a yellow watch, they can do that, and we might say no.
Oh no, yes, exactly.
So you don't, Zeitwinkel don't have an AI autoresponder, they've got an AE.
Well, if I look real to you right now, it seems to be working.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
We are a bit worried, actually. We don't know if it is you, Albert. Some situations you're looking very slim. Something is happening somewhere.
So if in some situations I look very slim, you imply that in other situations I look fat. So we have to talk, Jay. That's your food.
I have nothing to say over there, because I think we are very, very lean in what we do.
Thankfully, this is a very inclusive space, and so if you're slim one day, Albert, and a little bit chubby the next, that's all right.
Thank you for chiming in, Johnny. I needed
that. Johnny, we did. I think was it the last of the episode before that? We did talk about the new releases of Zeitwinkel.
We did. We made a fuss over them on I think it was the first episode when we came back, or it was whenever we were reviewing the Geneva, the watch event in Geneva, and we did. I'm trying to find a few of them here, but we will anyway. I do have images here. Thankfully, something here to save my bacon. So the piece that we're talking about actually is a departure. The 173 degrees. Do you include the degree when you're in the title of the watch? You know, it's
yes, definitely. It has to be there. Because the brand is named Zeitwinkel, and Winkel is angle in Swiss German or German. Obviously, we need to have this degrees, little degree circle there with the models. We're not angry if somebody doesn't include them, but it looks nice.
I mean, I think that is also something which, you know, which Johnny and I did talk about, the name itself, Zeitwinkel. I mean, what a beautiful way to present time. You know what I mean? It's such and also looking at your watches, it's so clean and so beautifully, you know, portrayed, and at the same time, the best of the moment which is in there. You know, it's something which not a lot of, you know, brands know or, you know, do it. It's just like I have to say, I mean, you guys have always kept that you know, that standard in so high in whatever you did and however you, and also those little new launches what you came up with. I think the sporty one, which I was when you were at Lore, you and I wore it, and I was like, I know at that time we were all crazy about looms and things like that. And I'm like, what is going on? There you go. It's, you know what I mean? It's so nice. And, you know, it feels like summer. It feels like this is what you need to, you know, have in your arms when you are out there. You know, it gives you so much. It's amazing.
True.
Well, if I look outside right now, it doesn't really feel like summer, but yes, but I know what you mean.
Basel is very cool. Basel is very cool today.
Yeah. To us, it's very important to not, you know, switch around all the time. If we have a model that we really like, we keep it. And some of the models we introduced in that exact design and that exact way in 2009. Yeah. We might have optimized little things in the movement, because obviously when you construct a new movement, you're learning, and there's always something you can optimize. Yep, Johnny, perfect. That's the large date movement right there. But we in some watch models we didn't change anything on the outside since 2009.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what you see there is the patented large date mechanism, and that's also always a nice example of the reason why we need so much work when we manufacture our movement, because just that ring, Johnny, if you could pull it up again, yeah, there's a ring in the middle of the picture at the lower end of the picture that is filled with some smaller parts.
Yes.
Our watchmakers have to set 31 pins exactly straight, the correct side up and down into that, and press them into the ring one by one. Those are the pins that then move forward the single digits of our patented large date. And that cannot be automated, right? Wow. It takes a lot of love and care, same as handling the German silver plates and bridges. It's a lot of work that goes into these movements. And yet, if you look at some of our models from the outside, nobody would know that they contain that much work.
Let's take a look. This is the actual 173 degree, the Zeitwinkel 173 degree sapphire bleu. And this is not only a new piece, it is, I would say it's an iteration of an existing piece or an evolution. Scaled down for the first time, the Zeitwinkel have created a piece that is sub 40 millimeters. Like, you just about got off the fence with that one, because it's 39.7 millimeters, if I'm not correct. So it's right. We are going sub 40. Okay, guys, I'm sub 40. 0.3 of mil. So
no, the point there was actually, as so often is with Zeitwinkel, a very, very long process, because everything we do, we discuss among us three founders and friends. And if we don't agree, it's very, very difficult to go forward.
Yes,
So
yes.
we had received a lot of requests to make our large date movement watches smaller.
Yeah.
Now the problem or the challenge, so to speak, is the movement is 8 millimeters high. You add airspace for the hands, the dial, and a little water tightness to that, and you quickly come to a fairly thick watch, not for what it is, not for the stability of the movement, but the movement height sets the tone. And we never thought we would be able to actually get a watch under 40 millimeters with that movement. And this year we finally succeeded. And we're very, very happy about it.
Excellent. And I saw it in Geneva at Watches and Wonders, and I have to say it was one of the highlights, because I've been a long time fan of what you've been doing, and I just thought this was a piece which, in a time when the trends are for smaller watches, and I understand the costs of having to create a completely new piece and to bring that to market, and the logistical challenges that you face with fitting the movement into the case. This was obviously the smallest case that you could fit your movement in, the Z103, I think.
Yes, it's the 103 large date movement. And if you pull me up again, I can show you my baby wrist.
Which one?
No, but my pretty little wrist. I can show you that. So this is the initial model, the 42.5 millimeter, and I can wear it with my little wrist because the lugs go down fairly early, and the bracelet or the strap is connected fairly far into the watch. But look at the difference on this one. Right, this is the new model, and that's the old model.
Yes.
It's the same movement, basically the same appearance of watch.
Yeah.
But just so much better fitting for someone that doesn't have Jay's wrist.
But I'm just thinking about
Jay's wrists. What's that?
What's that? You see what I mean? That is exactly what I think a size should be, in a way. I mean, you could wear it. Anybody could wear it. I mean, even with my wrist like that, it has got a beautiful way of showing it, and that's exactly what you guys do. I mean, you guys think through every damn thing, how you sort it out. I mean, that's why I say, I mean, you have never, I think, just launched something which said, without thinking of how and whatever. I think you guys have done it in such a way that everything what you've sort of put out there has got reasoning behind what it is. So I think I love it. I love
Thank you very much, sir.
It's beautiful.
Thank you very much. And the reasoning sometimes drives me crazy. The discussions are, you could say, we're very Swiss in that aspect, as in we discuss everything more than probably corporate brands would do, where it's just decided we go this way now. But once we have decided, we really have a product that usually works, and we have a product that we stand behind. And my co-founder Max came up with the reason why we do things the way we do. After 18 years of doing them, 2 years ago, he said we build watches for ourselves, meaning watches we would like to buy ourselves. And then we're looking for like-minded people. And that's exactly it.
It's a good philosophy. It's a good understanding of your raison d'etre, if you like that. What are we here for? And is to create pieces which are pieces that you would gravitate towards if you're making a purchase yourself, and to instill that idea, that concept into these pieces. Beautiful. I think they're a credit. I really do. I was really super impressed whenever I got to see these in Geneva there in April.
Thank you very much, John. Yeah.
So
Very happy to hear that. We have received the same feedback from quite a few watch enthusiasts who have followed us for a while, and well, we're kind of uneasy with the 42.5 millimeters, but tried this one on and really liked it. So we're very happy about that. And it looks good on Jay. I have to admit, it also looks good on larger wrist.
Thank you very much.
No, we've got the. You did send us that one as well, Albert. That's
Albert, you got the whole deal there, huh?
Yeah, the entire J minus knees and feet.
Yeah,
But
this looks like the Indies event, was it?
yeah, that was on May 4th in beautiful New York.
Yes, exactly. May 4th in New York. And I think there were, 10 or 15 brands over there, if I'm not mistaken. But I have to say, when I look at independent watchmakers and then I look at the mainstream, I am so glad that I've involved myself with independence, because it makes such a lot of sense, and also the purpose of how it is done. I think it's this is, and I remember also I was telling that to Johnny. There was a time when in Basel, for the Basel World, I had Ludovic Bauer organizing an event for more than 60, 70 independent watchmakers who came to my restaurant. And I was like, this is insane. I'm cooking for the geniuses of watchmaking right here.
Yeah, but it's you also click with just about everybody in the industry, I think, to the point where I would say everybody wants to be associated with you, which is on one hand great, and on the other hand would drive me crazy if I was in that position. But mainstream corporate brands, same as, you're famously in a Rolex commercial too. But also, you're kind to the guy who just started his or her, or the lady that started her brand a week ago, and they just want to get some honest feedback. And I think that makes you so likable. That's a big driver why, apart from the food maybe, why everybody comes to Lore all the time, because you're there as a personality. That's
yes, but it also, it goes back such a long time, Johnny. You know that, we've been doing this, this watch business and this food business. It's been going on, and it connects so well together. I see that, when people finish their whatever shows and they're like coming in and they're like, okay, now let's sit down, relax, don't talk about crazy stuff, but also, have a nice conversation about the purpose. You know what I mean? So yeah.
This is what I like. Bear in mind, whenever I started out into the watch industry in 2004, 2005, complete noob, knew nothing, literally knew nothing about watches, knew nothing about computers or the internet or anything. But I started in my wisdom selling watches on eBay back in 2004, 2005. Realized that it was this is possibly viable. I was just on the cusp of starting a different business entirely, and then you guys would have been saved ever having to get to know me. And but I didn't. I hesitated before I took that step for a number of reasons, and I tried something slightly different, and it was watches that I felt I leaned towards. And so for about 10 years, I sold a lot of watches. Not quite 10 years, but sold a lot of watches on the platforms at eBay. I was one of the early Chrono 24 adopters, and but over time, over like the space of 2 or 3 years, I had a great thirst to learn and to discover. And while I was selling these watches, which were grey market, big brands, grey market, at the same time, I was discovering these things. I'll never forget what the first real introduction to independence to me was seeing the Gold File 7 Masters collection. And that confounded me. It confused me because here were watches by 7 different watchmakers who I'd never heard of before. And so I started going down and learning about these people, and ultimately befriending people like Vianney and Andreas and Mark Genie, a great friend going back to the day, who introduced me to Paul Gerber and to the AHCI. And so suddenly here was I sitting, breaking bread with the history makers of the AHCI. And once I had really discovered this, there's an earthiness, an organic kind of thing about the independent community. And it's not all about, $3,000 suits. And these guys were the same as me.
Yeah.
And look,
and I think what is, and I don't want to speak for others, but what is important with independence, you can always peel off one more layer, and there's still something underneath.
Yeah.
So I will be in Geneva at the component supplier show this week, and I know I already have appointments with several collectors who just want to meet the guys who make the wheels. Or some components. They really want to learn. They really want to see how things are done. And I think that is very rewarding, because you have many different tastes. There's something for every taste out there. And if you talk to somebody like Vianney Halter, you talk to somebody who really knows what they're doing, or Ludovic Valois, right? They really know what they're doing, but they take the time to sit down with you and talk.
And explain. That's exactly what it is. So, Albert, what is the next situation for Zeitwinkel? How does it? Will you be coming out with something something else as a model, or you will be just playing with that what you have right now? What's going on?
So we have the luxury, but also the challenge that we can make about 100 movements per year at the moment, which means we don't want to begin with. That's reason number one, but also cannot bring out new models every 3 months. And there's absolutely no reason for us to do it, because we sometimes cannot catch up with the orders. Sometimes we do a little more professional planning and we can catch up. But for everything we introduce, we have to basically fade something out in reality. You can still get it, but we will not push it anymore. Yes, we're working on new variants. Yes, we're working on something on the movement. But there will be more shows this year, later in the year, and you might see something there.
Oh, nice. Okay.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
That's I'm really looking forward to.
And we have to keep something on the back burner until about June of next year too. So.
This sounds very interesting.
Quiet time of the year.
No, it will be a good time of the year, especially in parts of Europe where it rains all the other times. So.
I know which part it is.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on from there.
Let us move on.
Moving on.
But I'm also looking forward to October in New York. That will be, and I have to make my reservation for Lore.
Yes, time out.
I haven't done that yet. There will be other shows this year, also tests of some new formats, which should be interesting for collectors. That's always super cool that you meet a lot of people and you meet them again and you meet them again. And as Jay says, sometimes you feel like you've known them forever. Sometimes they have to grow on you. Some don't. Which is also okay.
As we talked about, Johnny, remember, it's all about the kindness and the respect. And I think nothing will come near it in any way. It doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah.
That particular situation with how you are and how you put yourself out there, and that kindness and the respect part will get you to wherever you want to be, and that is so important in life. And that's the only way to go on.
I do have an anecdote. I remember being late for an appointment in Baselworld. I was coming from, I think it was Patek, and I was crossing over the thoroughfare to the big green kiosk on the opposite side. And I think it was about 5 minutes late for that appointment, and I wasn't allowed in. Said, "You've missed your slot." This guy who literally was out of Harvard or out of Yale or something, he was about 6'25", and in the suit, and just I wasn't getting through. Go take a photographs of the little portholes on the side of the kiosk, and I sort of I only had one finger that I could shake hands with him at that time, and so I left, and I went up and into the hall 2.0 or 2.1, first floor.
Yes.
And I met Steve McGonigal and Carrie and people like that. And within 5 minutes, I had a beer in my hand. I was sitting down. I was studying something mind-blowingly beautiful. And I just, as you said, it's a difference. It's humanity. You're dealing with humanity, and you're not, as opposed to being corporate, and being able to say, yes, okay, I would have probably personally done better if I had stayed doing what I was doing and just dabbled in the independent sector, but I didn't. I kind of threw myself into the independent sector, and because as I said earlier, I felt these people are like me. They are kind of renegades. They're doing their own thing. The rules do not apply to them. Yes, a lot of these guys came up through very established processes. I mentioned Stephen McGonigal, John McGonigal. You've got AP, you've got Renaud Papy, you have Christophe Claret. On the outside, so they came up through it, but once they set out on their own, they're the mavericks, the renegades, and also, as I say often, the history makers who are creating pieces that, for me, are future museum pieces. And if you look at these auctions that are going insane at the minute, it is coming from a time, Albert and Jay, back in the mid 2000s, where some of these watchmakers were creating these masterpieces. They didn't take photographs of them because their websites were crap and they didn't have a platform to put them on. So they made a masterpiece and pretty much sent it out the door to its collector, to where it's still sitting in a safe today, virtually unseen. These guys also struggled to really connect with collectors and to sell their watches. And we're at now.
I think Harry doesn't struggle connecting with collectors anymore. They connect with him.
I remember Salon QP and standing and speaking with Carrie or with Rekshep or with Max Busser or any Stepan, with the Grunefeld guys. So everybody, you could have stood and spoken to them for an hour and then circle around the room and come back and repeat the process again. People weren't paying attention.
Not anymore.
No, oh man.
Well, the good thing is, if you run into Stepan Zarpaneva or Kari Voutilainen or somebody like that at a show, they will still take the time. They will stand there, and if you just came off the street, we had that situation in Waterford Island several times. There were people coming in from the street. They didn't know there was a watch event. They talked to the first guy that would talk to them, which happened to be Kari Voutilainen, and then they asked him about watches, right?
But just normal. They had no idea who that was.
No. They had no idea that maybe some collector from Japan would probably give his left arm to, just for a photo with him. And I think that's the interesting part to wrap the praise for independent watchmaking up, that you never forget where you came from.
Yeah.
And you came from a place of respect for the art, for the craft, for the traditional skills, and for your customers, because you have to work for your customers.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
Bad news. We heard that, Philip Stern passed, unfortunately, the age of 86 yesterday.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
that is like two icons passing away this month, which is very, very sad, which also shows, nothing is permanent, and everything what you do, however far you are, however far you go, you have to have you have to know that that's where the ground is and that's where you're going to go to. And it's sad, but at the same time, it's a big respect what you can keep in yourself and say, my God.
Yeah. I agree. It's nothing lasts forever, and Joe, it's the permanence of a set of circumstances. Like even we touched on very briefly earlier about the auctions. Joe, this continuous escalation is it sustainable? And that's a discussion for another day. And I know that you don't want really to go into that today, but it's not, nothing is forever. So things change. Time.
So you need the watch to be with you in times that you celebrate.
Yes.
As a reminder of what you celebrated.
But
absolutely.
you see, that is something which, for you, Albert, when you see that in your hand, and when you see these, I mean, I saw you having discussions with people at Indies, and how they were, interested in knowing everything what you guys were doing. Isn't that amazing to know that you guys were there from the beginning, and you are still the mouthpieces of the brand, you're still the faces of the brand, you're still there looking at every individual and going through the process and telling everything what this is made of?
Yeah, it's amazing to us as well. However, it's also a lot of work, because we also do a lot of work that is never seen.
Yeah,
things don't always go the way they should.
Yeah.
So we do spend a lot of time getting things from minus to zero. As in cooking, if you're falling behind in your cooking and your restaurant is full, you cannot say, I will try again tomorrow, right? that absolutely doesn't work. So it's a lot of that too. It's good times and bad times. Nothing's always just happy. But it's also, I think we all agree, Peter, Max, and me, that even if we have to solve a problem, we happily solve the problem.
Yeah.
We happily take care of it, because we know where it will lead to. And that's also fun. If you work with friends, you can tell them exactly what you think, right? Even if it might not be correct from, in a normal company, HR would have you sit down every 5 minutes. But we can be very direct among us, so we can find solutions in heated debates sometimes, and that is very good. So we've been part of it from the beginning, which is nothing to be proud about. We're just old, right? But we also still work very, very hard to create the best watch we can. As do our watchmakers, and that's probably more reason to be happy about. Not proud, but happy.
They're a credit to you guys this year, and as I say, the 173 degree is
what a beautiful.
From my own point of view, I'd love to think this is one that really, really catches fire. But obviously, that's I am biased. I'm a fan of the brand, fan of the people, and it'd be. On the watch, obviously, it was a highlight of my visit to Geneva in April, and I love having. We could go on with this. I mentioned in the little teaser that I posted just before we were out earlier on about a raconteur extraordinaire, and there's always a story. I was actually going to hit you up for it when you mentioned about not everything always works out. Do you have any humorous anecdotes about maybe something that you've emotionally recovered from? You know, it's something as
Well, yeah, we do have a lot of anecdotes, and quite often they involve other people. So I don't want to necessarily broadcast them here, because things go wrong, and sometimes they go wrong in a funny way. But I wouldn't want to put them out there. It's just, I think the message would be, it's hard work. Something can go wrong everywhere, on every level of also our partners. But we also have these amazing moments where, let's say, we need a special dial. The color didn't turn out the way it should have turned out, but tomorrow morning somebody has to take a flight, and we notice noon the day before. And by 6 p.m., we have a dial from scratch, because everybody stopped everything, and they, did everything. When we cannot touch it yet, we cannot put it in watch yet, but by 6 p.m., once it's dry, maybe at 9 p.m., we can put it in the watch, and in the morning we can take the plane. So things like that happen as well. It's not always bad. It's but it's I think that's the same case for each of the independents you mentioned earlier. Sure. We don't do any corporate planning where everything, a watch that will be presented next year is already being shot for ads now. That's not the case. Yeah, might be the same day we take it to a trade show that we do.
Crazy, though. Isn't that amazing?
It's not amazing. I used to have hair here, and before I lost it was gray. So
I know that you have had a lot of things happening, but you're in a good space, believe me.
I'm still okay, but no, it's
that excitement going on. That excitement of, oh my God, this, and excitement of, oh my God, I got to do this now. I got to finish that now. I have to put everything there so that I get this sorted, but before I fly to New York for the show.
Yeah. But it's sometimes you wish it was quieter, but you never want to become corporate, and you only want to work with people I cannot mention the rule we have, but I can say, let's call it a people we don't dislike rule.
Absolutely. But it's the whole idea, and I love that, the thought of you're rushing to an event, maybe it's Watches and Wonders, and you've got everything set up, but you still have a watch back in the hotel room that needs to be finally assembled, the dial or the hands pressed, and I know that happens, but behind it, that's very much behind the scenes. The watch industry doesn't really have this. The outward impression is one of peace and tranquility, and everything happens in its time, and everything will be ready, and there's no sign of this crazy paddling underneath the surface of the water.
It's not necessarily crazy paddling, but if you're trying to sell somebody something as a luxury product that is just expensive, but there's nothing behind it, that's not real luxury. The luxury is purchasing an item where, let's say, a watchmaker, an artisan, put a lot of their lifetime into perfecting that method of producing something, and then into producing the actual watch. Right? That, I think, is true luxury. And if it resonates with you, if you feel this is a beautiful object that also has a meaning for you in some way, was there when your daughter was born, or you purchased it when your father died, or just anything special, and it actually has a value because it has the time of the watchmaker, of the artisans condensed in it. Yes. That I find so much more luxurious 100%. Than just it's on Fifth Avenue and it has an expensive price tag.
I mean, I think people are looking at it that way right now, and you see also all the the way people have been looking at independent watchmaking. They don't mind waiting. I mean, I go through all of these chats. I'm on about 6 or 7 different groups, with Vasu and all of those guys. They are waiting. Vasu especially, he gets his watches immediately. He waits 5 years if it has to be.
Yeah, and Vasu is responsible, I think, for 25% of the watch sales in Switzerland in a certain segment.
Oh man!
I mean, I remember I was in Smorgasburg once, in Smorgasburg, where I do my dosas, on the
Yeah.
And Vasu is standing next, waiting on the line, huh? Waiting on the line. He knows me. He could come directly to me. No, he's waiting on the line. Then he comes in and he shows me the Akriva, what he's wearing, one of 10. And I'm like, and he's telling me, this was, it's still going for $80,000 or $100,000, but I was one of the first one who asked for it, so I got it for an amazing price. But I didn't ask him what the price was.
Yeah,
and I was like, this is crazy. He's wearing that. He's eating his dosa. He's telling me how good it is. But you see what I'm talking about? That man, shout out to Vasu. I mean, the way he is, such a simple guy, but he knows exactly where he's going, which path he's taking, and which direction his next place is going to be. Crazy.
Yeah, and I think, most important trait, he's not arrogant in any way. He's he knows he has some beautiful watches there that others lust after, but they have a special meaning to him, and he didn't buy them because others wanted them.
No.
Bought them because he wanted them.
Yeah, but and you also see the time frame when he got all of these watches. Not now. Yeah. He was supporting the independence already 10, 15 years ago, where when he started making his path and his process, right? Yeah. And he always did that. And that is why I think the respect is immense from the other side towards him, which actually makes more sense than anything else.
It's a holistic thing, isn't it? Because on one side you've got people who are creating these extraordinary pieces, and on the other side we've got people who have achieved incredible things in their lives, and that have allowed them to pursue. You could call it a hobby. Maybe it's supporting an art.
It's very often supporting an art in the upcoming watchmakers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
If you didn't have subscription models for someone who brings out the first dozen watches, and doesn't even know how to finance them, and then you have collectors come in and make a down payment on the whim. A down payment they might lose because they cannot get a bank guarantee or anything.
And also they know also what it means for these young watchmakers to go through the process of getting it up to that without even knowing if that is going to happen. As you said, they are not sure about any guarantee what they're going to get, if they're going to get it. It's not like the micro brands with a Kickstarter of whatever else, $300, $700. You're talking about $50,000 to $100,000 per.
Yeah, definitely. So I think it's a good network of people who have mutual respect, who may come from many different walks of life, but who crystallize maybe just on this object of a watch, of creating something together. And it's an interesting ride, and we still enjoy it even after 20 years now. And I hope I will come to Brooklyn or wherever you are then and eat at your restaurant in 20 years.
Yeah, so I would like to think that maybe we get an opportunity to meet both of you.
I don't even know if I would be able to stand over there and do something what I would want to do, but I will for surely organize that.
Guys, listen, it's been an absolute pleasure. I could go and put the kettle on to come back and talk for another hour, but it's been a pleasure. And Albert, don't be a stranger. We'd love to have you back anytime for a conversation. It's always enlightening. It's always engaging.
You just want anecdotes and me ranting about other brands.
Absolutely, yeah.
I think one thing what I noticed about this episode, we were not going into the mechanism of a watch. We are going into the mechanism of life and friendship and how
people. It's all about people.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. It's all about people. And of course, if you want me to go into mechanics, I will miserably fail. That's why I try to avoid that as well. But no, seriously, it's all about
You have
people.
another person over there who is okay in that.
No, he's, for me on this side, he's very, very knowledgeable. But I I try to I try to see what is Watch Aid doing there. Now, the angelic glow, I would say that's Jay, Mr. Watch Aid. He means my lack of hair, probably. No, it's all about people. Even if you create something that's technologically fascinating, mechanically fascinating, if you don't like the person behind it, if you don't trust that person to pull it off, it will not go anywhere. So thank you to two of my favorite people in the watch industry and beyond for having me today.
Thank you.
It's always fun to spend time with you too.
Folks, thank you very much indeed for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for catching up when you catch up. Thank you for subscribing when you subscribe. And please help us with get a few more subscribers. And we will be back again for the next episode. And guess what, Jay? I believe I will be talking with Mr. Dan Spitz in the second half of next week. Wow. And but we hopefully will catch up before that anyway.
Yes.
And but thanks again, everybody, for everything. We really appreciate it. It's people, us, you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.